What is the conversation surrounding Deebo right now? And whether you think that he's available, that we might have an Aaron Rodgers I want out moment, but it involves an actual player getting out. What do you think of that, Daniel? What are you hearing?
Look, the people I've talked to this morning think there's a real good chance that he does get traded. So if you asked me 2 days ago, I would have said no. And I mean, look, I'll leave the information stuff up to Ian, but I'm just talking to a million people right now because it's that time of year where my phone doesn't stop. And it changed over the last 2 days from I don't think the 49ers would ever do it to I think there's a good chance they trade him.
Wow. That would be, and again, I know that the information is left up to other people, but I'm asking you because honestly, you get people texting you, what do you think? What are you hearing? What are you hearing? And so the conversation, the general sense of people that you're, chopping it up with thinks that Deebo is in fact available. I mean, why would the Niners do such a thing, do you think? I mean, what is going on in your estimation?
I don't know. I don't know what happened with that relationship. I've yet to hear anything that makes any sense, because the argument that, well, it's the role that he plays, and he's worried that could end up, impacting, him getting paid. Well, if you pay him, don't you kind of remove that off the table? Like, you don't have to be as worried about getting hurt if we just give you a huge contract with all this guaranteed money. You would think that the role wouldn't be as big of an issue, but that's why I don't know, something there that I don't know about that's out there, but there's something that went sour in that relationship.
Well, the reason why I'm asking about him, like right off the bat, is that is the item on the docket that could upset the first 10 picks, right? Wouldn't you think that the Niners would be able to net a top 10 choice on Thursday night should they decide to flip Deebo to either Carolina, the Jets? I mean, there's a number of teams in the top 10 that I'd imagine would flip. Do you think that's a fair market for Deebo going in?
I think you would, if you're one of those teams that you mentioned. I think you got to get. It's crazy to say it, but just when you factor in what happened with these last two trades, and I know Deebo's a little bit younger, but those two trades were for the equivalent of the 13th pick. So if you're going to trade let's take the Jets, they picked 10. And if you're going to trade 10 for Deebo Samuel, is Deebo Samuel with 3 higher draft slots than Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams? I don't think I would say that he is. And I love him, but I would think you would, and it might not take much. Maybe you get a 4-back or a 3-back with him. But if I'm going to part with number 10, based off the precedent of these recent trades being the 13th pick, I would want at least a little something coming back my way.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's why I'm asking you about what you think the market for something like this would be, because this is the thing that could totally upset the Thursday night apple cart for us and everybody else who's watching. Daniel.
Yeah, and I love watching Deebo in Kyle Shanahan's offense. I mean, he's unbelievable. But it would be fun for our jobs on Thursday night, selfishly speaking, if we got a little trade action.
Well, certainly if it involves a certain team from New York City,
Well, there's also that. What's interesting on Deebo too, Rich, and this is why I say I'd want something back. But if you backed me into a corner and said, at the end of the day, I can trade 10 and get Deebo, and they really drove a hard bargain, I would part with 10 personally.
Right.
And the reason I would do that is because we did a thing, I don't know if you remember this, maybe 2 drafts ago, we did a thing called Finding Deebo. We did a little play on Finding Deebo, and we did a thing on Finding Deebo. Nobody's found another Deebo, okay? We've been trying to find another version of this dude for 3 years. He doesn't exist. This is a one-of-one player in the NFL. Would you trade 10 for Deebo?
Yesterday? Yeah. I did it mentally yesterday. I did it mentally 5 times over the weekend. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Like, and we're talking about again. He looks great in the Kyle Shanahan offense. You just said that. What do the Jets run? I know it's not Kyle dialing the plays, but it's a LaFleur. You know what I'm saying? And so let's go. And I think him in New York City would be dynamite in the same way that I didn't think Tyreek Hill would be a good match for Zach Wilson right now, and the Jets aren't ready for that. This is a different guy. I mean, this is a totally different guy in Deebo Samuel. for me.
He can take the easiest completion and turn it into something outstanding.
No, I mean, Tyree could do that too, but he also just can't run over you. I mean, like, there's a certain mentality. I think that New York City would love this guy. Love him.
It gives you an identity. I mean, for one of the things that the Jets need to figure out, and there's a lot, right? But one of the things is just kind of what's their identity, and that's people think that that's vague or that it's a real thing. Like, you got to know who you are and what you're about. And in a division where you've got the Buffalo Bills who are going to throw the ball 50 times a game, and it's going to be a track meet. You know, maybe the answer to that isn't to try and get into the track meet with them. Maybe the answer to that is try and bludgeon them. You know, maybe that's to have a great offensive line, you know, a stable of running backs, and, you know, a wide receiver that you can pitch the ball to and let him run over people. You know, like, maybe that's the answer.
Oh, bless you. Please tell me you said that to Joe Douglas at some point in the last couple of weeks, Daniel. That would be great. I know you're tight with him. So, hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here